Studios. So excited to have this incredible guest back on the show. I think it's the second time, and it's just been a marvel to see how much she has blossomed as an entrepreneur. So please put your hands together for founder of King's Downsizing and Estate Services and real estate representative, Desiree King.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. You look beautiful.
Thank you, Nikki. So do you.
Thank you so much. I try. I like my little bling dress.
Right? Love it. Love it.
Thank you. So happy Black History Month.
Yes, definitely. Happy Black History Month to you, too.
I'm going to ask you the question, what is Black history to you?
Wow, Black history is so deep. It goes way beyond a month. It goes back to our ancestors whose shoulders we stand on, and really celebrating not the negative, but so much positive that has shaped us and enabled us, people like me and you, to be in this position right now to speak and share our stories.
I love that. That's a great answer. Let's give her a round of applause for that. And I see that you've got your fan section here.
Yes, I do.
Who's here with you?
I have my husband, my beautiful daughter, and her beautiful friend.
Awesome. Well, your daughter looks just like you.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Well, great to have you here. Like I said, I've been watching you, stalking you on Instagram, and liking your posts and that. I'm really proud of everything that you've achieved. But let's learn a little bit more about what you're doing now. So, could you share what inspired you to specialize in real estate services tailored to older adults? I mean, that's very specific. It's very niche.
So when I first sat down in my very first real estate course, and at that time, it was 10 years ago, there were about 40,000 realtors in Toronto. And I thought to myself, wow, who goes into a career knowing that there's 40,000 others? Now there's 80,000 or more in Toronto in the board. But I thought I had to have a niche, and I've always had niche businesses prior to that. And when I leaned back on my past and what has led me to this point, I realized I always worked with seniors. So my mother was a geriatric nurse. One of my first jobs was working as a candy striper. That kind of dates me, so don't calculate. I don't know if they have candy stripers anymore. And I've also had a business delivering prescription medications. I've worked as a dietary aide. And I really do have a passion for working with the elderly. So I looked at that and said, you know what? There's a segment that is underserved, underappreciated, and there needs to be someone who's able to stand up and really advocate for them correctly.
Yes.
Traditionally, real estate's a very fast-paced thing. When you're working with someone who's older, who probably hasn't moved for 40, 50 plus years, you need to take a slower pace and not just make it about the transaction. So that's what I've been focusing on.
I love that, and I have that in common with you. I love children and seniors.
Yes.
I have a big soft spot for them, so I'm inspired by what you're doing. So your holistic approach and your signature craft system is amazing. So how do these elements contribute to providing exceptional service and market insight to your clients?
Right. So I came up with the acronym CRAFT. I love acronyms. It makes it easier to remember things. But I, like you, Nikki, have grown so much in the last 5 years.
Yes.
And it's all about crafting yourself and trying different things and really becoming and molding into what you want to be. So when you look at someone who is downsizing, CRAFT stands for first, create a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So create a plan. R stands for relay this plan to your family members and friends, because they need to know what you'd want in the case that they're not able to communicate. And also, they have memories in this home. Your children, your grandchildren, they have memories as well. Then A is to appoint the right professionals. Yes, we want to do things ourselves. There's millions of articles on the internet, for example, on how to change your own oil, but most of us don't, right? We go to a professional. So the same thing is appoint qualified professionals. F, next, is to filter through your household full of stuff. And T is something we often forget, but take the time to acknowledge your emotions and your feelings and what you're going through. And it's okay. And a lot of times we put that aside and we don't take the time to do it. Similar to when you're selling an estate, collect all your documents that you need to have, the bills, all these things that your family member who's deceased may have all over the place. And then research the market. See what the market is like. Do you want to sell? Do you want to rent? Then A stands for appoint, again, the right individuals, assess the market, assess the renovations that you may need, and if they're profitable. Find a realtor, and again, time the sale of your property. So CRAFT is the acronym, and it's all about just, it's a holistic approach of bringing it all together to accomplish the task at hand.
Okay, I think that's brilliant, and it's easy to remember.
Exactly, exactly.
We were talking about your family, and it's wonderful to have them here, but it's also part of what you do with work, family, and faith,
Yes.
right? So how do these aspects of your life influence your approach to your work as a realtor and also the founder of King's Downsizing?
Well, for me, it's faith first. It's taking a step of faith, believing that God has put me here for so much more. It's not about me. It's a privilege to be able to be a blessing to someone. It's a blessing to be a blessing. So it's taking that walk of faith. A lot of people, I've worked for so many brokerages, and I talk about specializing in seniors, and they don't get it, and they don't think it'll work. But I know I have the faith it'll work. How it's going to work is not up to me. It's up to me just have that faith, and God will make it happen. And then my family. My family is everything. My daughter from young was coming with me to put up signs. She's now about to enter med school. When she hears conversations in her labs about seniors, she's able to relate because she hears me speak about it so much. She sees my passion. She shares my passion. My husband, that's where King's Downsizing Real Estate comes from. His last name is King. We got married, and I told him I'm taking the name.
Married a king.
I married a king, and his first name is Alpha. I'll just put that plug in as well. So it's all about family. We do it together. And my next goal actually is I'm working on my broker license, and that's to open my own brokerage boutique so that I'm in control and I'm really servicing people to the highest level that I can.
I love that. I can't help but glance down and see something. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So 5 easy steps to downsizing, decluttering, or disposing a property, helping seniors and their families maintain peace of mind while preparing their homes for sale.
Yeah.
I love this. Tell me about this.
So this is the guide that I created with 5 easy steps, and it's a downloadable guide. So I just printed these copies for visuals on the show, but it's a downloadable guide that's for free. If you go on my website, kingsdownsizing.com, you can find the link there. But I thought it's so complicated when you look at the whole big picture all at once. And one thing that I'm good at doing is compartmentalizing things to accomplish the task. Sometimes people need help to just have someone's shoulders to cry on and reflect on things. A lot of times with seniors, I'll tell a story about my aunt-in-law, I guess. She's my auntie. But she had this chair when she was downsizing. And this chair, the sofa, was held up with this piece of wood. And we kept saying to her, get rid of the chair, and she would not get rid of the chair. So finally I said, okay, hold on. What's the story with the chair? And she had gotten through a divorce, and it was the first thing she purchased from that divorce. So to her, it meant freedom. It meant her liberty, the first independent act. A lot of times we don't understand it, but there's always a story behind why someone is holding on to something. So it's really a guide to get you started. But it's always important, too, to enlist a professional.
I think that's great. And I think of my own family, my parents, when they retired in Montreal and moved back to Jamaica. That was quite a process, selling their home and then downsizing on steroids because there was so much.
Yeah, that's barrels.
That now
we're talking about
barrels, and then there was this kind of rude awakening, arriving in Jamaica with half their stuff broken or stolen. So, I think this is great that you have kind of this preparation to get mentally ready.
Yeah.
And I love how you're, providing that kind of support for those walking through it.
And it's really a shift. Like I had a client, someone who I'd known from the past, but he lost my information. And things circled back around because he reached out to someone to help him move. And we called, and on the voice, and we realized it was somebody we know. Actually, my husband knew him very well. Now, his realtor had sold the home, but this is now an 80-plus-year-old man trying to figure out how to pack, how to sort, with me, it's all about one-stop shopping, I like to call it.
Right.
It's a concierge service. Selling the home is at the bottom of the barrel. And here's the thing. Even if you don't want to sell your home with a realtor, I can show you how to age at home, which is called age in place, safely. So little things like a rug on your floor, the lighting, all these different things, about 230 points home inspection. I can come in and show you how to do that. So if you really want to be at home, you're going to be there at the tip-top shape and not need to fall into some other realm that you don't want to be in.
Okay, so that, I guess, is an aspect of staging, is that?
It's really an aspect of coming into the home and looking at everything from the outside in. So from the outside, bushes that are too tall, someone can hide behind there. And you're coming home late at night, that could be access to robbery. Your stairs,
Safety-proofing.
Safety-proofing, your stairs, the rugs in your home, the paint. Do you need to install a stair lift? When we brought my mother-in-law back home with us, we actually converted the den into a room, took the 2-piece bathroom, knocked out a wall, made it a 3-piece. So it's all about how do you modify your home, if possible, to stay at home, because let's face it, most people want to stay in the home in the neighborhood that they've lived in all their lives. So it's about showing them how to do that. As I said, I am a real estate person, but I don't like the word sales. I don't sell. I present all your options, and then you can make an informed decision.
Okay. You're selling value and information.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask you this question. So as a certified executor advisor,
Yes.
what specific support and expertise do you offer to clients navigating estate settlement and other related processes? Now,
Right.
this can be very tricky.
It is very tricky. So disclaimer, I'm not a legal professional, but what I do have is the knowledge to know enough to guide you to the right direction of trusted affiliations that I have. There are about 17 professions one may touch bases with when they're selling an estate. You don't even know this. People don't know what they don't know until they know. So I'm here as part of that to say, okay, you need a lawyer, do you have one? Here's 3 I recommend. Which one would you like? You need an accountant? Here's 3 I recommend. Which one would you like? You know, even if you have bugs in your house, I can recommend an exterminator. So I really have relationships of people that I have vetted because, again, we're dealing with a vulnerable sector. Everybody's been vetted. And there are people that if I recommend them, you can trust. And the professionalism you get with me is transparent and consistent throughout anybody I introduced you to.
Excellent. So you have a senior couple watching you right now, and they're trying to make a decision about downsizing. What quick advice would you give them?
Quick advice is, what is your reason for moving? Is it because your house is now too big? Is it to be closer to your children? Is it because you want warmer weather? Is it because you want amenities? There's several different types of moves. If it's a more crisis situation, that's a whole different discussion. But I am able as well, if you decide to move into a retirement residence, to go with you and ask the questions that most people don't ask. I can look and research and see the government inspections that happen that most people don't know that are there, but they're free. So it's all about, it's like when you go to a doctor. You can go to a generalist who just generally knows what's wrong with you. What do they do after? They send you to a specialist. And that's where I come in. I'm a specialist, not just a generalist.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love this wisdom that you share with us. And where can people connect with you on social media?
Okay, so it's at King's Downsizing across all social media platforms. It was quite easy. And my website is kingsdownsizing.com.
Fantastic. Desiree, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love to have you back again. And I wish you all the best.
We'll do this again in another 5 years, Nikki.
I love it. Has it been 5 years?
It has been.
Wow.
Yes, it has been.
Amazing. Well, God bless you.
Yeah,
Thank you
God
so
bless you
much.
too.
All right. We'll
Thank
be right
you.
back with another great guest.